Bo Diddley. Don't know when I photographed them. It was probably about 1985 or something, but I haven't written the date on the negatives. So I've decided that this is the portrait of them that I really like when I print it. 55mm negative. I'm going to put the negative masks in the holder. The trouble with working against the light, can't see things. Okay, so this portrait, this negative, these photographs were made in a hotel room in London. I've actually normally would just make the image and would crop slightly into the image, and I've filed the edge of the negative holders out, which creates all the black framing that I like around the photographs. And sometimes you can even see the sprocket holes, which show that it's film. The negative carrier goes into an enlarger. I put the white light on so you can see the process of it going in. That's it in. It's a satisfying clunk. This is the timer, of which makes good buzzer when you've used up your time. It could be 5-second exposure. The easel for the paper. I need to change the line. The negatives in the enlarger. This is the easel for the photographic paper. I'm going to put a piece of paper in just to see, so we can sort out to focus. The masking easel is at the size that I want to print, so now I just need to reduce the size of the image in the enlarger. The masking easel is at the size that I want to print, so now I just need to reduce the size of the image and enlarger. Okay, so this is the image of the negative, and so this is the image from the negative, and it's shown in negative, and I explained about not cropping into the image by having the black line round the outside. Because I tend to print photographs quite hard contrast, I'm using multigrade paper, which you can change the paper on a colour enlarger by adding in magenta. So that's the magenta added in, and it just makes harder, blacker image, which I like. I'm going to cut the magenta out just to double check on the focus, which is a focus finder, which is detailed. You can see the grain whether it is in focus or not. It is now. Okay, chemicals are ready. Safe light conditions. I use a red safe light. I think it's probably possible to use amber lights, but I just quite happy working in red. This bit, and I'm going to do exposures in increments of 5 seconds. So I'll do 4 exposures, so it'll be from 5 seconds to 20 seconds. And I'm using a very technical apparatus here, it's called cardboard, to block out the image. Okay, so it's 4 exposures of ranging from 5 seconds to 20 seconds, and it goes into a developer, and it probably should take about 45 seconds to develop. So what there should be is there should be 4 stripes of different exposures. Five, 10, 15, 20. So after a minute or so it should be developed, so I'll take it out and put it into the stop bath. Sometimes I leave them longer in a developer because I want the blacks to get black, really black. This is stop bath, so it just stops the process, it stops any further developing, cleans a bit of the developer off before it goes into the fix. It should be in the stop bath for about 30 seconds or so. Move this into the fixed bath now. And after it's been in here for about a minute, we can put the light on and check what the exposure should be. Right, back to reality. So 5 seconds is too short. 10 seconds probably too short. There's quite a lot of light hitting the side of his face, so whereas the right hand side, which was 20 seconds, looks okay. But I think that 20 seconds would be too long for this side of his face, so I'll adjust it in the developing, but not too bad, I guess, to be imagining working around that area. So it'd been after it would be in the fix for about 2 minutes, it would go into the wash. imagine that's had about 2 minutes and just slap it on the wall. And this part would become too dark, so I will dodge a bit in here, but then I'll go back round it. And actually in the original print, where his arm is quite pale, I actually quite like, I'll burn a bit of this in and I'll burn a bit of this in, so I should use my dodging tools, not my hands. Yeah, I mean this, I'll do this in that area which would be too dark, and then I would do this for a bit of extra time. Yeah. So paper out the box and into the easel. A nice clean white sheet under the red light, unexposed photographic paper. So I decided I was going to give this exposure of about 20 seconds, but the left hand side of his face would be too dark, so I'm going to dodge the light so that not all the light hits the image. This is a dodging tool which just dodges the light, and I'm keeping it moving because I don't want the shape of the dodge tool to be apparent on the image, but then the light really bends round things, so I can keep moving it. And then because the right hand side of his face has quite a lot of strong light on it, I'm going to give it a bit of extra time. And also the badges on his hat, which are not very distinct, I can burn them in a bit. And generally about round the edge. I want all the edges to look dark. And his arms a bit soaked in light. Okay, so the paper's been exposed. Now it goes into the developing tray. Covered in developer. It should take now about 30-40 seconds for the image to come up. And then maybe a minute or so for it to develop fully. Although I tend to leave things in longer because I like the blacks to get really black. Magic process. This has just been printed from a negative from when I made the photographs of Bo Diddley, which is about 40 years ago. I think it all looks quite good. It looks dark here, but it won't look so dark once it's under the harsh white light, although the only thing so far I see is that maybe I haven't burned the badges in his hat in enough if I wanted to see the detail. But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it's his face is more important than his badges. Developer. And it's going to go into the stock bath. It needs to stay in the stock bath for about 30 seconds or so, maybe a bit longer, and it just stops the further processing and also cleans some of the developer off the paper before it goes into the fix. It means the fix can be a bit more long lasting. Okay, it's had enough, so it now goes into the fix. It should be in the fix for about 2 minutes or so, but we can turn the light on after about a minute and I'll look at it. I'm now going to turn the light on. So after the fix, it would then go into the wash for a few minutes and then be hung up to dry. But just at a first glance, the print looks quite good. It's quite the way I like prints. It's very contrasty, and the blacks are very black. Neat. And I actually don't really think it's that important to see all the details and the badges in his hat. He looks quite cool. He's an absolutely amazing innovator of guitars. Into the wash. Okay, it's washed enough, so I'm going to just slap it on the wall. Take the excess water off it. And there's a glowing Bo Diddley. It's now being illuminated, and now he's going to hang up to dry.